So my brothers and sisters, let's really examine as far as the anointed gospels, the anointed as far as good news pertaining to Master Yahushua. Because when Master Yahushua came down here, when he was sent by his heavenly Father, he came to do work. Not his own work, but the work of who? Abba Yahuwah, who sent him. Do you understand, my family? So turn into the anointed, as far as the anointed gospel, Matthew, our ancestor Matityahu, and look at chapter 9, and let's start at verse 31. And let's look at the type of labor that our king was doing. Verse 31, it says, "But they, when they were departed, spread abroad his fame in all that country." So notice how when Master Yahushua came down here, he wasn't trying to come down here to obtain fame in the wrong matter. The fame of him was as a result of him doing what? The work of his heavenly Father who sent him. You see, my brothers and sisters, listen. Thank you, my Father, my King, your precious Spirit. It says, verse 32, it says, "As they went out, behold, they brought to him a dumb man, possessed with a devil. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spoke, and the multitudes marveled, saying, it was never so seen in Yasrael." Again, my family, notice how when our king came, he came to do the work of the one who sent him. And notice the particular work that he came to do, which was what? To deal with Hashatan, to deal with those wicked spirits. You see, my brothers and sisters, notice how Master Yahushua did that in his Father's name. And notice how the people marveled at that. This was not seen at all in Yasrael. You see, my brothers and sisters. Thank you, my King. Look at verse 34. "But the Pharisees, the Frushim, said, he cast out devils through the prince of devils." Understand. See, those of you who are believers in the king, you got to understand, you're going to have some haters out there. You're going to have some, as of course these people had to have been influenced by the enemy. You see this? And in modern day times, these are known as little Nickies. Those of you who might be familiar with that movie, you can check that out. A lot of people who are possessed with the antichrist spirit, those who are against Messiah, these are known in modern day times, they're known as little Nickies. You see, it's my family. Children of Hashatan, children of the devil. Notice how when you are a believer in the king, you see this? You got to watch out, because when you're doing the work that's been appointed to you from above, you're going to have haters against you. And this is just the reality of the matter. You understand, my family? Let's commence. It says, let's continue, my brothers and sisters. It says here, "And Yahushua went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues, and preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people." That's powerful. So notice as far as the context of the proper work of the Father that he was doing. You see this? Notice how he was among the people. You understand? Listen, my brothers and sisters. Verse 36, it says, "But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them, because they fainted and was scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd." That's powerful. You know, we can see the heart of the king, because when he was looking at his people here, notice how the people was in an oppressed state. They was in a sad state. They truly had no leader to really lead and guide them, because those religious leaders in his day, they were filled with the spirit of the enemy. So notice the labor of the king. Notice his passion given to him by his heavenly Father. Notice how when he saw his people at a depraved state, notice how, as far as how he actually looked at the people and saw what they were going through. Listen, let's see what he says here, verse 37. Listen, my family. "Then said he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray you therefore the master of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest." That's powerful, my brothers and sisters. Notice that. What can we learn from the life of the king? Those of you who are true disciples, Talmudim of Master Yahushua. See, you're going to have some haters out there in your day-to-day, and you're coming out and you're going in, and you got to don't be afraid of them at all. You fear them not, but you got to keep doing the work that's been appointed to you from above, from our king. And the question is, for those of you out there, when you're on your job, for those of you who are working now, you got a lot of people out here, they just want to be on social media and they have the opportunity to work. But a lot of them, they really just made their preference of what they want to do. But for those of you who are truly in the highways and byways, when you're in wherever your local areas where you're working, you can't look at your work as just getting a paycheck only. Of course, you have to be able to work for means of being able to survive, to help with the family and things of that nature. But when you're on your job, you got to understand that souls are at stake. When you're laboring, you can't be a lazy disciple of the king. Do you see this? You understand? So when you have the spirit of the Master Yahushua in you, the spirit of his heavenly Father in you, are you to take the scriptures and to beat down people and say, hey, you need to, here, read the scriptures? No, it's the life that you live. And his spirit will draw them towards you. You see this? It's only by the precious set apart spirit that our Father will draw those to you, those who are filled with his spirit. And when the opportunity comes, as he permits, then you begin to do what? Proclaim the good news. You see this? So, my brothers and sisters, again, when you're at work, when you're going through trials and tribulations, you got haters on the job, little nickies. You see this? You got to be willing to stand strong and stand bold in the truth. You understand, my brothers and sisters? Because you're not just laboring to get a paycheck, but you're laboring for what? For the souls of men. And when people can see Master Yahushua in you, and they are drawn by the Father, and they look and say, man, what type of life? Man, it's something about you. That's when you don't exalt yourself, but that's where you will do what? Proclaim the King, proclaim our Heavenly Father, who sent his Messiah. Do you see this, my family? And even at the job, you might have those who are known as Toms, traitors of Messiah, those who are basically against the Mashiach. But you're to do what? You're not to sit there and battle in a carnal way. But as our Father King lead, he'll give you wisdom how to deal with those individuals. You see this? And when they try to challenge the word, he'll give you wisdom in how to deal with them. But when you do it, you don't do it in the spirit of arrogance. So what we can learn is what we learned through as far as the passage of Holy Script, meaning holy writings that was inspired pertaining to our King. Then now we have learned what? How he labored for the souls of men. You see this, my brothers and sisters? Master Yahushua was not a lazy man. You see this? The eternal word of our Heavenly Father coming down in flesh, he was not lazy. Notice how he worked. And as his disciples, we got to be willing to do what? Put in the work. You see this? But the work that's from above. You understand, my brothers and sisters? And don't fret. Stay strong in the faith. You understand, my brothers and sisters? So I love all of you. Continue to be able to grow and learn in the name of Master Yahushua, the Messiah, the one who was sent by his Heavenly Father, the Most High, the one true Almighty, Abba Yahuwah, through the precious eternal set apart spirit of our Father, our King. Maranatha. Amen.